Many Nigerians are clamoring for the decentralization of the police.
Yes, they say state and community policing will help quell the unending pockets of violence by insurgents in the regions. But will the creation of state police solve the problem of insecurity? A big question. We have in the studio a security professional, Oladeng De Ariyo. Good morning to you and thank you for joining us.
Happy New Year.
Happy
New Year. Yeah, exactly. Good morning. Nice to see you.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Do you think that is the solution to the state of insecurity in most parts of the country? Let each state have power over its own security?
Ordinarily, one would have said yes. But you cannot consider that in isolation, because there are several other factors that definitely will come to play. To start with, we're talking of states that are not viable economically. It's talking of states who cannot pay primary school teachers. I mean, teachers, let's just put it that way. We're talking of states who cannot pay sportsmen and women. You've seen sportsmen and women protesting in their track stools and all of that. You've seen teachers protesting here and there. How do you now want to go and hire people, either those frustrated young men and women, hire them, recruit them, train them, and arm them? What happens when you can neither pay their salaries nor their allowances? Won't they unleash terror on the citizenry? That's one. Number two, politically, the maturity is not there, and democratically, we lack sagacity. Imagine a state like Rivers. Don't mind my grammar. Imagine a state like Rivers. If they have a state police in Rivers, Rotimi Amechi would never step into Rivers until the present governor leaves the seat. If Ekiti has state police, I can bet you, let any APC stalwart show up in Ekiti, he will be arrested. That is the kind of atmosphere I presently have. And like I told you, how many of these states are viable? They come up with budgets, and by the time you do evaluation, you cannot benchmark their performance against their projections. You don't want to bring in state police. Policing is a serious business. It's not a run-of-the-mill organization that you can say we want independence. No. Even what they had done, the police itself, as it is, federal police, what they did with the community policing, from day one, I said it will fail. And how well has it performed? I told the then IG, Tabalogun, because he was the one that brought all these things up there, I said, this thing will fail. Why? All the elements needful, starting from the planning to execution, training, retaining, they were not there. And you don't just copy concepts or copy ideas from places where things are in place and they are working and come and throw them down people's throats here. State police. Hey, no.
All right. Now, all right, I hear when you say we don't have the political maturity and the democratic sagacity to do all of those. No, we understand. But the point there is, it is obvious that the system we run right now also is not working. Because, for instance, if we take what just happened in Benue State, for instance, where the state governor has to call on the federal government, call on the president to come to his aid where something is happening in his domain. It tells you that nothing is happening until the IG of police is relocated. We hear the Senate president is giving them 14 days to act, and so on.
And if another thing springs up in another state now, then
exactly. IG has to relocate. So if things happen at the same time, as the case,
let me take you back. I wasn't in Benue. You were not in Benue. I'm sure you were in Lagos here in 2015 when the then government funded OPC. They came to Lagos here and they were causing crisis. They were damaging vehicles. They would have killed me that day along this expressway here. They did a lot of damage. The governor then couldn't do anything but to call Abuja. Unfortunately, Abuja was behind the show. That one, we experienced it. Going to Benue State, Otom even said he had written to the presidency, he had written to the IG and all of that. What happened? Nothing. Let me also tell you, again, it also shows you that even the present federal police as it is not working. Otherwise, what's the idea of the IG? Being physically present in Benue before things can get done. Yeah. Good question you have just asked me now. So what if tomorrow in Ogun State there's a crisis? If we carry his bags again and go to Abeokuta, and if it happens again in Ekiti, hey, what are we talking about? I will rather we look at the present system, okay, evaluate the present system, do some technical review, and say we call it SWOT analysis. What are the strengths and the weaknesses?
Opportunities,
okay,
and threats.
And the threats. If you do that, you can identify the key issues and begin to address them. If you need a constitutional amendment, you can inject that. That will, okay, put the state commissioner of police under the governor. Again, go back to what I said earlier on. Are we politically matured for that? We were here when the commissioner of police in Rivers State under Amici gave him hell. He was flagrantly disobeying him. Governor Wike has been fighting a persistent war with the federal SARS in Rivers State, going as far as accusing them of being complicit in kidnapping and robbery and cultism. You must look at all of these things holistically. So that's why I said, yeah, things are not working the way they are, but like they say, cutting the head shouldn't be the cure for headache.
Well, is it about the statement you just said now, being seen as a blind decision? Because in advanced worlds, this is what is given. This is what is set, and they are even independent. So why can't that be injected into the system if considered? In fact, the Deputy Senate President, Ike Ekweremadu, just yesterday said that it was a hard time. They gave it a rethink, that it could be the solution to so many security challenges in the country. So not looking at the political side of it, because like we just said here, it's not even working. The federal structure of it is not working. So why not consider what it's supposed to be? So why not consider
it?
Again, it goes back to what we said. When we say we want restructuring, I'm for restructuring. And I'm not talking of the type that will give me Oduduwa Republic, or that we give Emeka Biafra, or that we give Mohammed Arewa Republic. We are saying, let's look down, look at all the issues around our country as a nation, okay? A gathering of people, identify those ones that have challenges and issues. The police is one. Security is directly their business. But are they giving us value for our money? No. Okay? To that extent, I'm saying again, if we say states should have police, the anarchy that we follow will be so irreversible, and that may lead to Nigeria going to a civil war, whereby those those police people will now become the private army of the individual political leaders in the states. We were here when VIO went wild in Lagos State. Ordinary VIO, just to check papers.
Even when last sure was set up.
Let me tell you, before I would leave my house then, one of my prayers would be, God, let me not encounter VIO today. Because if you encounter them, that day is spoiled. Painfully, the young man heading VIO, I know him one-on-one, clean, sane guy. But will we be on the road with every element in the organization until God stepped in? It was God that gave Onambo the wisdom to say, leave the road. Now, when they left the road, have we come to greater danger? No. So it's in the same way, we should not just be looking at copying America or wherever. I had a short stint in Japan. I never saw policemen, talk less of soldiers. The only day I saw a traffic officer, I was lost in the city of Tokyo, and I had to go to their office to ask for direction. So I walked in there and I saw them in uniform for the first time. They simply put on the screen and told me where I am, where I was going, and the way to go, and that was it. Hey, by the time this morning on radio, they were complaining that some local government authorities, they have set up some task force, whatever, harassing people, collecting money. The question is, are they solving problems or they are compounding issues? So it's the same way. We should go back and look at the federal police as it is. Identify specific issues or challenges. If it requires constitutional amendments to make it work, we should do that. In places where they talk of federal police, state police, okay, I was in India. And then we got to a place, they call it federal territory. Okay. The rules are different. We were looking for alcohol. They said we should go to federal area. And we went there, and life was freer. You know, they relaxed a lot of things. And I was wondering, what it will be in Nigeria. Will it work this way? Because the people's orientation, their mindset, their disposition, their perception, all of these two, their elements, they are how we are. So it's a whole lot of a task. Not just saying, okay, say police, oh yeah, granted, go and start. In 90 days, we blame ourselves.
All right, but in all of this now, because there was a report by Afrobarometer, it just came out recently, still putting the Nigerian police as the most corrupt institution in Nigeria. That's still a buttress to what the global corruption index exactly the former index said. Now, if we take our minds back to the Clifford Constitution, the Littleton Constitution, we saw that for every year that those constitutions before the independence came, there was an incremental push, an amendment towards a democracy and towards a federation. There was something in new constitution comes, adds up, but it wasn't to disrupt the entire system, but it was adding up to incrementally, to perfect it until 1960 when it came. Now, in this case where we've seen the police, there has been several reformation, police reforms and committee and so on and so forth. Going into that incremental, is that the way to go now, at least as a way of adding up towards that state police?
I'm not talking of adding up in terms of population. No,
amendment.
That's not my focus. Yeah. When I say amendment, the rule or the regulation that does not place the state CP, for instance, under the governor, can be amended. Everywhere they say that the governor is the chief secretary of the state. How much of a CSO are you when the apparatus for security
is not under you?
You call the CP, give him instructions, I've had you, sir. The next thing he does will pick his phone and start calling the IG. Or probably he calls the AIG, AIG will call DIG, DIG will call the IG. That's a long and needless chain. Whereas, if it's been amended, specifically saying that the CP shall report to the state governor straight away, so the man knows where the buck stops. And when the governor gives him instructions, they will act. If Autumn, the Benue State governor, if he had the authority, the legal authority, constitutional authority and power to order the CP in Benue State to go confront the headsmen or whoever.
Maybe we wouldn't have
had that story before you are. And look at this way. Perhaps it took the CP a while to get the AIG, took the AIG some time to get the DIG, ditto the DIG getting the IG, and then the command structure has to come back down
again, the same way. All this considering that they don't watch TV.
Well, they may want to watch.
They may watch.
Like somebody was calling me now, and I said, "Look, I don't have time to talk to you. I'm going to be on TVC soon." Okay. He said, we don't have power. They may want to watch TV. We still have challenge in that area. That's what I'm saying. We need to review. You were taking a part constitutional development in Nigeria. The military stepped in and life
disrupted everything.
I am telling you, 3/4 of what we are having to battle with today, they were injected into our psyche, into our system by the military rule. We don't have federal government. What we have here is pure military government. I don't want to go, I'm not a lawyer, because if you go into that, they will start, but that is the truth. Otherwise, why most states in Nigeria today, they live on the federal government. They are not self-sustainable. I told you, sportsmen were protesting, that they were not paid their allowances, they were not paid their salaries. Imagine if they were members of the state police, armed. So what would happen?
So would it work really if these states, if considered state police, are made to be an institution of their own? They have their funds directly from the federal into their own purse. So they are not directly under the state government. So they are not really answerable to the federal government or the state, but they are independent.
How would the federal government be funding the state police? If they won't make it work, they cannot create a pseudo organization. Otherwise, the police in the state will be competing with the government of the state. Okay, give it this way. Assuming Lagos is an APC state, if PDP or APGA is at the federal government and the police in Lagos reports to, gets their funding from federal government, on what platform will the governor wake up and say he wants to order the CP around? Instead, there will be competition for authority and power. Meanwhile,
that's
the
a political maturity you are talking about.
And the governor has no access to guns and ammunition, and the man has. What are we talking about? I mean, it's a very simple thing. The only problem here is we don't look at issues from the easier point of view. Instead, we look at it from the rooftop. We should look at it from the floor point. It becomes easy to attend. We can't afford. The only viable state in Lagos today, for all I care, is Lagos. All the others are pedestrians. They are struggling. They had to borrow money to pay. The Kogi State borrowed over 10 billion to pay people for Christmas. You don't say Kogi should have policemen. if Kogi should have policemen, Senator, what is his name now? My friend. Dino Melaye will never step into Kogi State again until that young man leaves the state.
And Faleke.
For Faleke. Faleke is a gun if you step into Kogi State. That's where we are going. We are not ready for all those things, please. Let's look at the present system, identify the problems, find realistic, workable solutions. Okay. Then we'll get better.
You know, the government has to sit down and do a lot of work on that. Okay, Olade India Rio, security professional and practitioner, thank you so much for coming on.
I thank you for inviting me.
Thank you very much. Right.